Hey, I'm Jeff, and I make music with my brother.
Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I also make music with my brother.
Together, we are Ekko and Sidetrack, and we make music that sounds like this.
And this.
And even this. This podcast is about music, creativity, and everything in between.
Welcome to A Band Apart with Ekko and Sidetrack. Jeff, when I'm hungover on a Sunday, I yearn for hotcakes, hashies, hash browns, mimosas.
Oh, you could probably go to any sort of burger place for that.
I don't know if I could go to any sort of burger.
You could, but you'd be wrong.
The only place I want to go is short order, specifically the Fremantle store, because they're doing brunch from 11 on Sunday. For a limited time only, and it's the best hangover cure you'll find.
But even if you're not hungover, it's absolutely delicious. They've got all sorts of stuff. Check out their Instagram, and you'll see the full menu there. And go in and say hello to the gang.
And tell them Ekko and Sidetrack sent you. Use the 10% discount code, which is
Ekko and Sidetrack.
which you have to say to them. You have to say that.
You can yell it if you want.
If you say it and wink, that's what they really like. And maybe make a comment about us. I like Ekko and Sidetrack's hair.
But in all seriousness, it's one of the best brunches you can get. Fremantle store, short order. Check it out this Sunday. But for more details, check their Instagram as well.
And you might even see us there. You get extra points if you see us there and come up and speak to us. You asked me a question?
Jonathan, did the ad for short order
Yes.
air that had all our rap style doubles and ad libs in it?
I believe it did.
Yeah, that was good. That was completely off the cuff. Talk about brother synergy, or brothers energy, or brothers energy.
Well, I think there's some sort of telepathic link between
Yeah, I agree.
brothers. We could do this whole podcast without even recording it and we'd probably get away with it. Although it wouldn't be fun for you, the listener or viewer. I agree.
We made an inside joke. You didn't hear it though. That's good. Yeah, I think that was good. Yeah.
Do you think have you got a telepathic connection to anyone else?
There's a child in Mumbai that I speak to. He writes on a blackboard.
And it comes up in front of you.
Yeah.
Is that a movie? I swear that's a movie.
Dr. Death. Dr. Sleep.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. That doesn't spoil the movie. And in fact, if we're going to talk about it very briefly, which we don't have to, but I watched it on the plane recently and I was not frustrated with it. I was like, yeah, okay, it's a movie. I'll accept it.
Okay. I'd like to see it.
You should.
I like The Shining.
Yeah. It references. I didn't know. I thought it was just going to touch on it and springboard off, but it's actually kind of a formidable movement forward.
Well, isn't the main character Ewan McGregor Danny?
Yeah, it is, and it's kind of modernized and creepy in some ways. Actually, it's like pretty. I think that's why I liked it, because it went places, and you're like, oh, this is gross. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of the way a Stephen King movie should.
All right. I'll watch it.
Starting off with a movie review.
I'll give it a watch. Do you think you have had telekinetic interactions with other people apart from me? Like we've had moments where
Holly and I are pretty in sync, as in we will be walking along and thinking exactly the same thing, and not just we both talked about buying milk earlier, and I'm like, we should buy milk, and she's like, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
That's also not how her voice is. It's much deeper. I was thinking the same thing. Hi Holly.
Hey Holly.
Yeah. So that would be the closest thing. We think similar things
But I mean that could be also just you guys live together.
No, but I mean there's more. It's more than that. It's not just
necessary grocery shopping.
No, it's like yeah, there's that extra level, but it's not on the level of, yeah, I'm getting a signal.
Okay.
Have you?
No, but I think I've had shared dreams with people.
Do tell.
Or like dreams that have kind of corresponded or... But again, it's so hard. Like, you know, you might have a dream about someone and you message them and you say, I had a dream about you. And then they go, I had exactly the same dream. But that's not necessarily at the same time. It could be completely different times.
I just think some of that stuff, I believe in it because things have happened. But whenever it gets proven by science or science steps up and says we need to prove it, things seem to fall apart a little bit. It's almost like whatever kind of energy controls it is like, we can't have it be read out on machines.
Would you say you're a skeptic person?
Am I skeptical? I have a healthy amount of skepticism, but I'm not a skeptic. I'm not like UFOs are swamp gas. I don't always look for the no, but I have a healthy amount of like, did your dead grandmother really visit you in the night and move the watch, or did you just forget that you'd moved the watch earlier?
I was talking to a mutual friend of ours the other day about something.
Shout out to Glenn.
About something. And he said he had an experience where someone gave him a bit of information and said that he's going to die when he's 82. And he was like, yeah. He said something along the lines of, always skeptical about sometimes those scenarios, just like,
Psychics.
Yeah, he had I think he saw a psychic or a shaman or something and said like, yeah, I think it's just sometimes I feel like skeptical about those things, or and he's a believer to some extent. And I said, isn't it more fun to believe that he was right though? Like, isn't it more fun and more beneficial to your life to just believe in the thing, as long as it's not something that's potentially damaging to your life?
Is that is that the takeaway that this guy got from the psychic? Because that's pretty weak psychic.
No, there was other things,
vibes.
but we were just talking about.
You're gonna die when you're 82.
We were just talking about when you're doing it.
When he turns 82, he's like, "Wow, he was right," or "I think I was way off."
That's what he said he was going to do. Just before he died, he's like, "Oh, he was right." But there's lots of things like whatever magic or paranormal thing, whether it's telekinesis or some sort of mind control or bending
ghosts.
spoons or ghosts or aliens or whatever it is, what do you think it is in us that want to discount it? Or even religion? Because there's those people that you go, I'm meditating this morning. And there's people go, what do you mean just sitting there for 10 minutes? That's boring. Or like, I'm doing affirmations. Like, what affirmation? What did you read The Secret and think that's going to happen? What do you think it is in us that makes the cynical, that like we revert to cynicism so easily?
We try and protect ourselves to some degree
From
believing, because believing means that things could go wrong. But I think
the things are going to go wrong anyway.
Yeah, I think also the other thing is that
maybe ask yourself when you're cynical, what do you think motivates?
Because I'm looking for a reason in some respects.
Yeah.
I want it to be proved in front of me.
Yeah.
Rather than trusting to something I don't understand. That's the whole witch burning thing. People were probably experiencing LSD-like hallucinations based on a late frost resulting in...
On the wheat?
Yeah, on the wheat, resulting in them getting...
ergot poisoning?
Ergot poisoning.
Yeah.
And then they just blamed it on the weirdest person in the village.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's a witch.
Fuck, man.
And they had no way of proving otherwise. It was their word against their her word against theirs. He
Yeah.
said, she said.
Yeah.
And that was they made a leap of
Faith.
faith. They didn't understand the middle.
Yeah.
So they just went, demons!
It's like early people's seeing the sunrise and go, that's God.
Yeah.
Sun God.
Yes.
And the devil is at night because that's when it gets dark, and that's when
the wolves come out.
and people get killed.
Yeah. So it's just a system of beliefs. And what we do is try and frame everything through our system of beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen a fucking elephant and someone tells you about an elephant, you're like, you're a goddamn liar.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's an alien. And then when you're shown an elephant, all of a sudden, within 2 days, you'll be telling everyone about an elephant like you've known an elephant all your life. Because your systems of belief has changed and you've now got this new information. And you're like, yeah, it's an elephant. It just is.
Is there anything that you want to believe in, but seem like you just can't?
Peter Pan. The story of Hook is very captivating. I remember being a kid and wanting to so badly go to Never Never Land.
Yeah, me too.
Michael Jackson's Compound, not the...
Not the popular Steven Spielberg movie.
No. Do I want to believe? We'll come back to that. I will say, I know people who I trust who've had strange experiences, be it with ghosts or spiritual entities, and also had experiences with, like the universe seemingly collaborating
Synchronicity.
to like work out for them. And even some stories from friends about psychic kind of predictions or like suggestions.
Yep.
So I want to believe that stuff is. So I do, but the thing that stops me is like, is that full on, like, I think maybe it's because I don't want to be seen to be one of those people that believes the thing almost.
Interesting.
It's like, I'm not
You don't want to be an outcast.
an outcast. I don't want to necessarily join that team.
You don't have to join a team. Just
I know.
because you believe something doesn't mean you join a team.
I know, but maybe that's, I'm thinking very much on the fly here.
I have a theory that we believe in magic up until the point where we get told Santa Claus isn't real. And at that point,
I'm so sorry to all the younger viewers. Jonathan has just said something that is, some people don't have to believe in Santa, but he's our buddy and he's doing what he can on the North Pole and he does it for you and you can believe in him if you want.
I'm sure
But Jonathan is a naysayer.
if like you believe in those things or we get told that these things,
Yeah.
culturally, we all kind of tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
And then very quickly, once you kind of find that out, very quickly do you start getting told by teachers and parents, stop messing around.
Yeah, reality kind of just like,
It's like, oh, there's no magic.
It
And then
just gets,
suddenly it's like, why aren't you doing your homework?
yeah.
Stop wasting time on that thing. Stop wasting time playing. Do this.
It's a beautiful day outside. Can I go outside? No, you've got to be in the classroom working.
Gotta work.
Becoming a better factory worker.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we all agree.
Stop wondering.
It's like we agreed that we can let imaginations flourish and children be children and blah, 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 blah. But then where's that cutoff point? It's time to get serious, buddy, because life is fucking serious. Hey, buddy, stop smiling. Are you not working because you're smiling?
But at the same
We've got a problem with number 25. He's not working anymore because he's smiling at a small child. Get him back on the conveyor belt.
Like it's ridiculous.
That's exactly what happens though.
And I think that people
He's daring to dream.
Yeah, like
Even though the poster hanging in the lunchroom tells him as such.
kill him. Like
Take him out.
I do think that stifles. That's when the cynicism starts. If you told a kid that Santa Claus, maybe you didn't talk about Santa Claus, but you fucking told him from a young age that magic was real. I believe that you would possibly propagate someone with Jedi-like abilities.
Yeah.
It could potentially.
Potentially. You could also breed an outcast.
Absolutely.
And-
Maybe. I
But
don't know.
that's its own kettle of
But
magical potions.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about this recently because I think it's more.
I think the world needs more wonder, and we should
does.
trust things to the universe more. And that gets harder as we're in more uncertain times.
Absolutely.
But we always have to remind ourselves of some of that sparkle, if you will, like that fucking fairy dust, the magic of something happening. Even like you just approaching a green light and you're like, stay green, I really want to make it home. And it stays green. And instead of being like, thanks, like shout out to the universe, you just go, you fucking oath, now I'm going to make it in time to watch the movie or what. Like it just becomes something you just accept rather than looking at, and not to sound too preachy, but like everyday miracles.
Yeah.
I should probably.
No, because it's exactly that kind of thinking that like, no, I don't want to be seen as saying the word miracle. That word has too many connotations about it.
How do you say it?
Miracle. Miracle.
Miracle.
But like, it's exactly that connotation. There's probably someone listening to this being like, oh, they're talking about Jesus and miracles or something, whatever. But like, fuck that person. You can still use these words and it not be so soaked in cultural negativity. And I guess my point...
Or cultural positivity.
Positivity.
Like, because all this stuff... Sorry, you were going to make a point.
I was going to say, like, it's more... Surely it's better for your life to believe that everyone is... The universe is working for you than against you.
Absolutely. And I think more people do need to
And if you had that outlook, and I'm saying this as someone who is really trying to have that outlook and often doesn't.
Oh, absolutely, man. We are not holier than thou.
Fuck no. But if you can kind of trick yourself, and if you believe that things are being given to you in that way, it kind of like makes life more fun.
It makes it a bit more of a game.
It's like a fucking game. If you like believed that magic was real to some extent and that you could manifest things. If you sit there and go like, I want a new car, I want a new car, I want a new car, that's probably not going to work. But putting out some positive fucking
I agree.
energy with your brain.
Yeah.
Or writing positive shit on Instagram or whatever it is.
Affirmations definitely work.
Definitely make your life better. Whether or not it works in a tangible scientific sense is not
They also
the
can't
point.
prove gravity, Jonathan. Doesn't.
That's not the point. The point is to, if it makes your life better. It's like people that believe in God.
Yes.
If believing in God makes your life better, it doesn't matter if God is real or not, because it's making your life better.
I feel
All these fucking cunts out there argue constantly about being wrong or right. Atheists against people that believe in religion, people that believe in vaccines, people that don't believe in vaccines, whatever it is.
Divisions.
Everyone's arguing about who is right and who is wrong. Just a fucking waste of time.
It is.
We should all just live in the ocean.
I wish we had the theme from Ocean Girl to play right now. The whale song. What you're talking about kind of makes me think of like the bell curve of acceptability that we live in. Like, because to not believe in this stuff, and imagine you're on this side of the curve.
Yep.
You're like, I'll do it in reverse. I'll do it for you. You're on this side of the curve, and you're like, I don't believe in anything. And everyone else is like, oh, come on, mate, have a bit of fucking wonder. And then you go up, and there's more people that believe in certain things. And then we hit the middle of this curve, the middle. And that's like people who like believe in all sorts of stuff. And, on varying, if the bottom axis is wonder, belief, and faith and stuff.
This is a pretty complicated graph for people that are just listening.
Sorry. on the left axis you have amount of people. On the bottom axis you have wonder.
Yeah.
And that's like, so the people at the top right hand corner would be, there'd be a shitload of people up there, and there'd be the most wondering.
Yeah.
But it's a bell curve distribution.
Yeah.
So as you move along the wonder curve, yes, let's call it the wonder curve, you get, there's a lot of people in the middle basically that believe in, like, have a good amount of wonder. But as you edge towards the top, it gets less and less acceptable to have that much wonder.
Yeah.
And also, other people think you're crazier. Because, like, oh man, live in a world of wonder. Yeah, believe. Even me putting on that stupid voice is a story I'm telling myself about this person.
Yeah.
That's how cults start.
Yeah.
And that's how, everyone has to wear the right shoes when we drink the Kool-Aid later because we're going to catch the fucking comet that's swinging past.
Yeah.
That said, who are we to say that they're not on that comet having a whale of a time?
That's completely true.
Who knows? In their continuum, maybe they went on. But back to the pleasure curve or whatever the fuck, wonder curve. A lot of people in the middle can be happily having fun in there, and that's an acceptable amount of wonder. And then there's somewhere on that curve where it starts to become unacceptable.
Well, I think that's...
Or less acceptable. Like, oh, you're not telling your kids about... I mean, Santa Claus is kind of a relative example because it's so...
universal to some extent.
But also it's a weird one because you tell kids about Santa Claus and then at some point they realize it's kind of a story, a fun story, but then society propagates the Santa Claus myth in like advertising and everything. It's like it's kind of gross.
In malls, in shopping centers,
there's
every
Santa
single
Claus.
year there is multiple Santa Clauses.
Yeah, and it's almost just like this little thing. It's like, oh, that's just for kids. Let's just let them believe. Why don't we just have something that like we can all
Believe in? His name's JC.
And he's our next guest. Come in, Jason.
Jason Crater. So I think that bell curve that you discussed about wonder.
The wonder curve.
And if you get too far either side, I think that's to do with that curve can be applied to everything. Like the fringes, people want conformity.
Absolutely. That's the concept of the bell curve.
People want anything that's too far left or right of the curve is a bit like, oh, he's a bit strange.
He's not.
He doesn't wear shoes. He's not one of us.
Literally, you could look at it in height. He's very tall. Look at that, the size of that person. I'd be much more comfortable if he was more even.
Yeah.
If he was
evenly distributed.
Yeah, if he was just average in height, or she was average in height, or oh, look how short that person is. That's very weird.
Yeah, I think we want conformity because anything outside of that makes us feel uncomfortable and like we don't understand the world. And I think as we've become more of a global society and have something that connects us all, aka the internet, and we are seeing into various facets of life that we had no idea existed, be it a LARPing, people that LARP Dungeons and Dragons in real life.
Live action role play.
Yeah. Or people that fucking collect Legos and play it once a week. Do you remember walking down into the pub in London, and we walked downstairs, I think we were with Ben, and we walked down and there was just 2 tables full of Warhammer, like a huge Warhammer, like fucking battleground.
I think so.
No, had no idea about that world existed.
Yeah.
But now we do know. And now you can either look at it, you can look at the fact that world exists, or the fact that people LARP, or there's communities that make macrame or whatever the fuck. You can look at that and go, whoa, that's so cool that we're so diverse and there's so many different groups of people in the world doing so many interesting things.
With your sense of wonder, you
With
go,
your sense
whoa,
of-
maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you can go, there's a lot of fucking weird people out there and I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It scares me, to be honest.
Yeah, it scares me. I think I just want to stay in my
They're different.
bubble
And I don't like it. Yeah, yeah.
and
that's
be like,
absolutely-
I don't need to understand that. I want to stay within my realm of understanding.
Absolutely. I think...
And that is also an okay attitude to have, albeit a boring and not particularly a fun one, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I think as well, when you're into something and you do it and you get passionate about it, you just all of a sudden start caring a shitload less what other people might think. And you're
Yeah.
just so into your wonderment. Like, for example, I can't remember what his name is, but the train guy on Instagram and TikTok. Francis.
Yeah.
He just loved train sets and was really into it. And then he was like, "Oh, that's a bit lame. I shouldn't do it."
When he was a teenager.
When he was a
became
teenager.
rude boy and started going to the gym and shit. But then
Yeah.
he realized that it was fucking fun and that was him.
That was him. And
Beautiful.
it's like, and that's quite a lovely story.
Actually, he was train spotting with Jonas, one of the Jonas brothers today. I saw that on Instagram. And maybe was what made me think about it more. Because that boy is fucking the epitome of just like free.
Yeah,
Free
it's
love.
a beautiful thing. And everyone's so obsessed with it. And it's almost like, look how free that person is.
I wish I could be that
I wish I
free.
could be that free. Shut up!
Yeah. But that, again, like you can be that free, but I think people tell themselves
They can't.
they can't because maybe they think, well, I can't afford to go and do the dream I want or whatever it is. But I think it's finding freedom in everyday things.
Yeah.
Like I've started singing in the car
How nice.
more and singing when I shop. Just like humming and singing when I shop, and I'm trying not to care what people think because I'm trying to have fun
Yeah.
and
Injecting more humor into your life.
injecting more humor and
Wonder.
into my life. Because then a trip to the shopping center doesn't have to be this laborious fucking waste of an hour. It can be a fun, silly time. Because really, when you think about it, if you fucking hate your job, you hate going shopping. All I want to do is like live for the weekend. You are cutting down so much fucking time of your life. You got 52 weekends every year.
Yeah.
If you're only living for your weekend and not enjoying the rest of it,
That's 104.
What the fuck?
That's 104 days.
what the fuck is the point? You're living a third of your life.
Yeah. I think we should talk about that book as I get more into it. That's 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Berkman.
I spent a lot of last year talking about the Jewel podcast that she did with Rogan, and that 4,000 words book is my 2022. 4,000 Weeks is my 2022 Jewel podcast. I think it's really good, and it's really made me think and reflect more on how I think and how I spend my time.
Yeah. And I think we should talk about that more next week as I read more. I'm only up halfway through the first chapter.
I think that's a great idea.
But I really loved it. Can I change tact but come back to a subject we mentioned? Recently I discovered, with the help of my lovely partner Holly, that Lego has a ideas section where you can build and submit ideas for Lego. And it's upvoted and people comment on it and all sorts of things.
How do you build it?
You can build it in a Lego building thing, or you can build it in real life. Some of the ideas on there are so fucking cool. I actually should get the website up. I think but if you just got Lego ideas and you can go on there and then like they encourage you to have a little story with them and build your thing and then take some photos of it or do some different views of the rendering, and then you write a little bit about it, and then people vote on it. But then you can get like, I think it lasts on the website for like 100 days, but if it gets a staff pick, it means it gets another 187 days or another 6 months. And then if it gets to 5,000 votes, it gets up another level. And then I think if it gets 10,000, it actually gets made in a limited run.
It's pretty cool.
And some of the things...
Do you get, like, paid for it?
I don't think you get royalties. You probably get some sort of mad props and stuff like that. The guy from Lego just goes, big ups.
Kind of sounds like Lego is stealing free ideas, but
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
But it sounds like a sick idea, and I definitely will be building something later tonight.
Yeah, it's human-generated content. Again, it's YouTube. It's people realizing, hold on a second, we run the network. Because it's all our content that people are watching.
Yeah.
But there are some amazing ideas on there that people spend a lot of time doing and repurposing pieces and turning them into all sorts of cool stuff. It just makes you go, man, Lego is really, really, really fun, but it's also such a great imagination tool because you don't often have a part that does exactly what you want. So you got to work out a different way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, as you're working out that different thing, you're like, oh, I could do this. I could like angle it with the hinge. And all of a sudden I've got this kind of thing. People have done everything from, the Amsterdam streetscape to like a really cool looking like Godzilla that was like all like metal kind of looking, but it was out of like all sorts of bits that did curves, and it was so sick. And then there was a lot of medieval stuff that was like quite complicated.
Yeah.
Like the wizard's hut and like, the forest cabin or something. And they were just like, the details in them were so sick. And I found it really inspiring. It made me want to play with some Lego.
Well, for Christmas, we did get some Lego.
I think we should.
And we should build it.
We should. We will.
We will build it.
Let's pick a day. But I think that's a way that people could inject some wonder. Or just fucking draw. Draw something. Drawing and singing is something that people are told they're not good at. Or they sometimes see that they're not good at it because they like, I just can't draw. It's like, yeah, guess what? If you practice, you will get better. And you will start to get a better imagination as you visualize things. I was recently shown something on the internet where the questionnaire asked you to imagine a red box and like in your mind's eye, and there were like 8 different levels of what a red box might look like.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like writing like, I see a 1 or I see a 7 or whatever. And 1 was literally nothing. And the final one was like a solid red box. And they like varied in like shape and pinkness and stuff like that. And like I was just like, yeah, it's a red box. I can visualize that. I can visualize walking through my childhood house. I'm quite good at that. And some people don't have that at all. So they just don't have any wonder. And they don't think they can ever cultivate that.
They've probably also been told, like, we're pretty privileged to have grown up in a house where
It was encouraged.
he was encouraged to think and make art and
Fuck around.
yeah, to a certain degree, yeah. And I think that's plays a huge role in our attitudes towards it, and something that we should be very aware of, because a lot of people haven't been lucky enough to have a family that cultivates laughter or silliness or drawing or
But you can
games.
cultivate that now, is what I'm
You can.
trying to say.
You totally can. But it might not come as easy to some people as it does to us.
Absolutely. And not everyone can visualize things as easily, but you can work on that.
Yeah, you can. If you really want it, you can change the little things. You can sing in your car.
You can.
And it's amazing how liberating just those small choices can be. You don't need to make these big sweeping life changes. You can just start singing in your car and you feel better in the morning.
I knew someone that used to sing in their car all the time with the windows down, and quite badly. And she'd pull up at the lights and wouldn't turn down the music. And I was like, would people look at you? And she goes, yeah, who cares?
Fuck yeah. That person's living on the goddamn edge.
Yeah, it was great. And she'd be like, sometimes they just like laugh, or like it just adds a little bit of wonder. Like it's
does.
again, it's like you go, are they laughing or are they going like, wow, she's having a lot of fun? And then they go, I'm not having much fun. Maybe I should start masturbating in my car.
Or do they go like, ha, like join in, like audience participation?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's so funny. I think that's the whole idea behind flash mobs. It's like, whoa, this is fun.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Join the flash mob.
Yeah, I've got a flash mob at 7 o'clock that I need to be at Joondalup Shopping Centre.
Keep an eye out by Rebel Sport. We'll be dancing to the one and only I Feel Your Love by Ekko and Sidetrack.
Get it now. Everywhere you love songs listening. Thanks, buddy. This week's been good. I will see you next week
I think you've done very well. You've been good.
to discuss
4,000 weeks.
4,000 weeks more.
And maybe have a little bit of a laugh. I need a laugh. We talked earlier today about needing a laugh. Things are a bit stressful at the
Can't
moment.
cultivate laughter though.
You can't. You can't fucking learn to wonder. You can't cultivate laughter. Everything has to be a grind.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly. And that's the very message of this week's
So let's not
podcast.
repeat those words.
Okay.
I love you, buddy.
I love you too, buddy.
See you next week.
See you, buddy.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. We are Ekko and Sidetrack on all social media. We've recently updated our YouTube. Go and give that a subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the latest video podcasts. And follow us on Spotify too so you can keep up to date with all our latest music releases. Big up.